Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, so good morning to all. Hope you are fine and safe at your place. So title of this presentation is Single Objective and Multi-Objective Optimization. So as you already aware about the mathematical optimization from the I think the higher secondary level only. So here the term is single objective means single objective optimization means we are only thinking about the single criteria. So based on one perspective, example, if you are the car manufacturer, then you are maximize the comfort level of the car, but many criteria. So that's why single objective optimization is biased to a particular criterion. Hence, in the multi-objective optimization, we consider multiple objectives. For example, as a car manufacturer, you are thinking to the comfort level of the car, but both are conflicting objectives. Hence, it is very important to study multi-objective optimization too. And this is the recent and active area of research in the many engineering. Now, this is the outline of this presentation. So in this presentation, we will discuss the basics of the optimization. Then we will discuss the different search strategies, which is very important for the optimization in the engineering domain. Then after that, we will discuss based on this search strategy how you will optimize the multiple objective. Then at the end, we will conclude this presentation and will give you some future direction of research based on this multi-objective and single objective in terms of machine learning perspective. So now in the basic optimization, if you define the optimization, then you all knows we optimize the function means optimizations means to find the maximum or minimum for the any particular objectives or functions. So here we try to get the best. Here you can see here that we have function here and we try to minimize, but we have the certain constraint over the different variable x1 and x2. Here equality constraint, then these two are inequality constraint. Is the optimization problem. So the thing is that okay, in addition to impose the constraint, it is very important to define the objective functions. So in the machine learning, you aware about the clustering problem. Consider this problem, then in that problem we have to find the compact cluster, means we have certain numbers of the data points, then we have to make a different groups. So for the making the different groups, it is important make the compact cluster as well as the cluster should be well separated. So here we may take the objective function means that. So for the any problem, it is very important to define the problem in terms of the mathematical formulation. You have to model your problem, formulate your problem in the very nice manner, then you definitely able to optimize your problem. If you are good, so you will face problem. So in the objective functions, we have many dependent parameters and many independent. So here we have different variables, means these are the independent variables, features you can say, for the objective functions, where we we need to optimize based on these variables. Here, see, here we have feasible search space. We have feasible search space in which we change the decision variables, and this will reflect into the objective space. So your search space should be within this boundary, and your decision variables must lie within this feasible search space. So we have to take care about this one. Then now let us come. We are discussing about the objective function. So discuss about the different kinds of the functions. So as you know, the function may be the constraint functions, unconstrained functions. It may contain the multiple variables, like that. Suppose your grade will be prepared based on the many subjects. So we have many as a individual variables. Then as you are aware about this unbounded optimization methods, for example, Simpson, that one. So this is the unbounded optimization method with the calculus. Now quadratic, so this is the simplest form of the non-linear. So here, what is the linear and non-linear? So here you can see in the bottom, the linear means the graph to the form of a straight line. Non-linear means the graph with the curve, in which you can see we have different peaks, we have different maximum points. So non-linear graph, in that case, we this define the non multi-model problem. So this is very difficult to find the optimal solution. So we will discuss this point next. But here we have two functions, which is the discrete and continuous, in which you can easily define. For example, sin x is the continuous function. Now in the discrete function, we have discrete variables. Value should be in the discrete manner. Now now come on the non-linear functions. So non-linear functions may be the unimodal and multimodal functions. So in the unimodal functions, we have only one peak. So in that unimodal function, finding the global solution is very easy. So if even you apply the traditional method, you can optimal solution. But suppose in the multi, so finding the optimal solution is very difficult. Of the optimization methods, so we will see that in the later stage. So through the diagram here, you can say this is the unimodal. In the left hand, you can see we have only one minima. Now multimodal function is convex problem. Convex problem means we can, again you can see we have different local minima. Okay, so in these cases, finding the global solution is really a challenging. So we apply different kinds of the search algorithm, optimization algorithm, to search actual optimal solution, actual global solutions. Here the term used the non-convex. Non-convex model. Convex is multimodal. Now you can also see with this diagram, we have multiple. If you take a simple algorithm searching from this point, so this will go and may stuck into the. Here it is important to discuss about different search strategies. So we can categorize this search strategy into three ways. One is the exact method, second one is the heuristic method, then third one is the meta heuristic methods. Then based on these evaluation criteria. So first one is the completeness, which will find the solution if one exists. Then second one is based on the time complexity. Third one is the based on the space complexity. Fourth one is the optimality of the solution. So let us start uninformed search, which is also known as the brute force search, blind search, or exact methods. So this uninformed search you may apply only for a small problem. It is not feasible for complex and large problem. But the main advantage of that, in the uninformed search or brute force search, you will get the exact solution. But when you have complex problem and large problem, then going through the blind search is very time consuming. Hence, we don't prefer this uninformed search for the complex and large problem. So, for example, you know about breadth first search and depth first search. In the breadth first search, what we do in the tree, we start from the node and then we will explore all the childrens. Then from the top to bottom and left to right, we process the searching. In the depth first search, what strategy we follow? The children of the root node, and then we pick that children. Then this process is continued till the children is over. We reach to the leaf node, then again backtrack and will search the rightmost children for the leaf. Here uninformed search, you know about the 8 puzzle problem. So here the target is that you have to arrange all the numbers in the sequence. So we have different possibilities and we explore all the possibilities. So this is the uninformed search, and which is very time consuming. Now let us see the heuristic search. So time we perform some heuristic strategy, means we find some based on the some heuristic value, we explore the nodes and then we will reach to the solution. So it is the simple, less time consuming, but it doesn't give exact solution and generally finds the local optimal solution instead of the global one. This is basically usual problem specific. For example, in a start algorithm. So basically what happened in the best first search, we start from the root, then here the A is the root, then we will explore all the children for the A. So here the children are B, C and D. So here based on some criteria, we evaluate the heuristic value for each children. For example, here the heuristic value for B is 3, heuristic value for C is 5, then heuristic value for D is 1. So here this is the min. So here we will explore the D because D has the minimum is E and F. So now in the open list we have 3, 5, 4 and 6. So in the open list we have 3, 5. So we will explore 3 is the minimum. So we will explore this B node. 5 and then in the open list we will get 6, 5, 5, 4 and 6. Now the minimum, so we will further explore this E. Now as you saw in that particular model problem, we have multiple. We start from anywhere in the heuristic way, so you may stuck in local P. So it is very important to search. So in that case, this approach is called the meta heuristic. In the meta heuristic, basically the concept is based on the exploration and exploitation from the different place. For example, in that figure, we start the solution from here, from here, from here, from here, like that. We will allocate suppose 10 solutions in the population. Then they all will search together by communicating each other. So there may be the different strategy. Maybe they will communicate it through a particular leader in the group. They may communicate to each other, and we have different strategy. For example, suppose we will discuss about the genetic algorithm. So two fitter solutions will cross over and will generate the new solution, good solutions, like that. In the particular sum optimization, we have the each solution is inspired from the self as well as the best solution in the group. So in this way, each stick has their own way to solve the problem. So based on the problem stick, then the main advantage of this meta heuristic is that you can apply this meta heuristic for any kinds of the problem. For example, discrete problem, continuous model, multi-model problem. For almost all the problems, and you about the problem specific knowledge, you can simply deploy and you can get the solution. So their basic strategy is the same for every problem. So main disadvantage is that this meta heuristic only get near optimal solution, and in that meta heuristic during the parameters are really a very challenging. So to get the optimal solution, it is necessary to tune the parameters of the model in appropriate way, and we will able to achieve the solution. Sometimes it is act as a black box. Sometimes it is very difficult to find the behavior of the algorithm. So this is the main problem. So most of the NP problem, we apply this meta heuristic so that we will get the reasonable solutions, acceptable solution within the reasonable span of time. Now let us discuss meta heuristic. So in the meta heuristic, basically known as the population-based optimization algorithm. So we have evolutionary algorithm and swarm intelligence-based algorithm. In the evolutionary algorithm, we have genetic algorithm, differential evolution. These are the key algorithm. Then for the swarm intelligence-based algorithm, we have particle swarm optimization and artificial bee colony optimization. Now, genetic algorithm basically mimic the natural reproduction system. And if you consider the artificial bee colony optimization, which is mimic the means it is the food foraging behaviors of the bees, and in the group all the bees work together. So all each bees have their own roles and they work in the group. Now you just see the basic flow or a structure of the population based optimization algorithm. So here, first of all, you have to define the structure of the chromosome. Then based on defining the structure, you have to initialize the population. Then you have to evaluate the population. Then you have to iterate till stopping criteria is not met. Important part is here the create new swarms or population. And whenever the new population or swarms, new solutions are generated, we need to evaluate them. Then we memorize the best solution. Again, we will go through the same iteration. Okay, we will generate the new solution. Again, we evaluate. Then again, we memorize the solution. So this iteration is continued till stopping criteria is met. Now, consider the genetic algorithm. So we have main strategy. We have main key component of the genetic algorithm in which we have representation, parent selection, recombination, mutations, and survival selection. So in these 5 steps, in the first step, it is how you will represent a problem. Suppose you are dealing with the clustering problem. So first of all, you have to represent the cluster. How you will represent the and optimize it. So it is necessary to represent the cluster as a solution. Then we to perform the good solution, we perform the crossover. So for that, we will perform the parent selection. Parent selections means we select the fitter solution, and then we will perform the crossover. Then again, we will we are exploring the solutions. So we talked about the this meta heuristic work for the exploration based on the exploration and exploitation. So basically this crossover perform the exploration. Suppose you have the feasible search space in which this crossover will explore the solutions. Okay, but in the mutations what will happen, we will search near to particular solutions in the feasible search space. So it is very important to search near to a particular good solutions so that we will get the better solution. So that's why this mutations is very important. Then for the next generation, to promote the next generation, solution. Anyway, for the survival selection, we have different strategy. We can promote all the good solutions to the next step, or maybe half good solution and half bad solution. Maybe the crossover with the good and bad. Maybe we may get the some good other solution for the survival selections. So in this way, we perform the iteration and So here you can see we have already discussed about you can use this meta heuristic for any kind of the function for the unimodal as well as the multimodal. For understanding this meta heuristic, we have multiple functions. Suppose we want to maximize this fx equal to x square within the range 0 to infinity. So how you will apply this genetic algorithm? So now we have defined representation of the Gaussian representation. Gaussian representation is the binary. We have taken 5 bits. Then we have allocated 4 solutions. You can take 5, 10 like that based on the requirement. Then here uh, we have converted this binary into the decimal equivalent. So here we will get the value. Then based on that, we will get the x square value, means the value of the functions. Now here we can observe that 576 is the fittest solutions among the four. Then second highest is 361. So this one is the fittest, and 361 is the fitter than this 169 and 64. So so in the during the parent selections, we may consider the best solution like the 576, 361, the solution which is equivalent to the 2 and 4. Then we will perform the crossover, then mutations, then again we will promote into the new generations. It may be, but population size should be the fix. So in this way we can apply genetic algorithm. So this is only a very simple problem, unimodal problem, but this is generally applied for the multi-model problem where we need to find global optimal solution, which is really a very challenging. So basically genetic this genetic algorithm have similar strategy for every problem. Maybe some crossover strategy methods may be different, mutations may be different for different problems, parent selection you may change, but the overall steps will be similar. Most of the problem can be attempted through the GA. We have already talked about that. Then excellent at getting some solution without much problem specific knowledge. So here to apply this genetic algorithm, this meta heuristic, you require the problem specific knowledge. You whether it is discrete problem, continuous problem, constant problem, you can directly apply this meta heuristic. Now here we we get the near optimal solution. Is necessarily to get the optimal solution. We all iteration, after a certain iteration you will get achieve the optimal solution. So this algorithm also doesn't guarantee the optimal solution. Then so we have already discussed to improve the quality of the solution. We with number of iteration. Now there are two main components to solve any machine learning problem. Suppose you have any problem in the real life, and if you want to apply this machine learning, you have to think over on two things. First important thing is that how you will model your problem, means how you will define for the problem, because without mathematically modeling the problem, it is not possible to optimize the problem. Now after modeling or designing the objective function for the particular problem, now you have to search the actual optimization methods which will generate the new solution and which will make the algorithm problem. So in the optimization problem, based on the requirement, you may opt the heuristic method, meta heuristic methods. Suppose you have very small problem, then you can go for the fixed method, uninformed method. Now, okay, we have defined the objective functions for the machine learning problem. Now, it is possible that you are going to optimize through the single criterion or single perspective. I have already discussed about that. Based on the comfortability aspect. Then in the machine learning problem, suppose clustering, we one objective may be that we need to get the more compact cluster. So in that case, you will use the sum of squared error. Now, suppose in the multi-objective perspective, we have already discussed about deal with the multiple criteria. For example, you have to deal with as well as to increase the comfortability of the car. So both are the conflicting objectives. So here in the single objective optimization, we will start from here, and with the iteration, we will refine the solution, and at the end, when some we have many way to stop the algorithm. Suppose we decide that we will run this algorithm for the 100 iteration, then you can stop this algorithm. Or suppose changes stop with a particular iteration, number of iteration, then you can stop this algorithm. So we have the algorithm. Now this is the minimization problem. So you can see here in the beginning we have large error, then with the time, with the iteration. So in this way, we will take the single objective, and then based on that we will optimize the objective function. Now in the multi we have multiple function. Here m equal to, in the single objective optimization we have only one, m equal to 1, but in the multi objective optimization we have multiple value of m may be 1 2 3 like that. Now x indicating the decision vectors, and in the feasible search space dealing with the multiple functions. Here it is important that m should be greater than equal to 2. If m is 1, then this will convert it into the single objective optimization. Now we will get different values for f1x, f2x, like the value for each. Now in the multi-objective optimization, we don't get the single solution, we get the multiple solution, which is known as the non-dominated solution. So for example, in case of the car, we have cost 3 lakhs, then we will get the lesser comfortable car. Then suppose we pay 6 lakhs, then we will get better comfortable car. So you cannot say that one is dominating to each other, because if you are paying more, then you will get more comfort. So you cannot say that this car is better and this car is worse, because for the less comfort car you are paying less. So in this way, car manufacturer generally find optimal solution on the Pareto fronts, where they cannot dominate each other. So, so this is the case here. Basically, on the front, whatever the solutions these are, we try Pareto front. That is the optimal Pareto front. Okay. So the target is to reduce the obtained Pareto front towards the actual Pareto fronts. Means even in the multi-objective optimization, we try to optimize the solutions. Means what basically we try to try to increase the comfortability of the car. So in this scenario, we try to go to the optimal solution. Now we have optimization. First one is the extent. Means we have varieties of the solution. We must have a large extent. Means we must have the varieties of the solutions. So in the varieties of the solution, means suppose we are paying 1 crore, so we will get accordingly the comfortable car. If we are paying 2 lakhs, then extension must be there. Okay. For the diversity, means your solution should be equally, means normally distributed. There should, it should not like that. In the first half of the graph, you have all the solution. In the second half, we don't have any solution. So it is important our solution should be normally distributed. Then in the case of the convergence, our solution should approach the actual Pareto fronts, should approach the actual Pareto front. So what basically we do, we optimize the obtained Pareto. Now here, the what is the criteria for the dominance? Then all the objective functions of I should be less than equal to all the objective function value for the j, and for at least one objective function the value should be less than. So here, so in that case we can say that okay, fi dominates the fj. For example, you have two cars with the higher comfortability but cost is 3 lakhs, one with the same comfortability but the cost is 2 lakhs 50,000. So definitely this 2 lakhs 50,000 car will dominate this. Based on the same comfortability, you are getting the car on the better price, means less price. So now another example, here you can see we have 5 flights, then you each flights, and then we have ticket price for all. Then to find the related solutions. So see the first solutions A, where the travel time, means your target is that your objective is that you want to pay less and the time should be minimum. So both are the conflicting based on the given data. So here the first is the 10 and ticket price is 5700 rupees. B, that time is less is high. So you cannot say that they A is dominating B. You cannot. This one C. If C is 8 and price is 6,000, but if you see the B, Even time is more and cost is also more. So means that C is dominating B.
Sir, please unmute your mic.
Am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I think till this slide it was okay.